G'day everyone, I'm AzureBlaze, and welcome to another tier list video on my channel. Sort of getting started first off and everything like that. I'm sorry if I sound horrible, I've been a little bit sick lately, and it has not been very nice. However, I don't feel horrible at the moment. However, my voice is recovering. It's probably the best way to go. However, I wanted to get a video out for Wednesday, and I thought a short, easier video I could do would be to tier list every one of Sonic Generations stages, because there's 9 of them. However, split them up into 2 acts each type thing, 18 to sort of rank. And yeah, I don't know, I thought it would be a simple sort of easy thing to do. Therefore, I'm going to begin with Green Hill Zone Act 1 from Sonic Generations, which is classic Green Hill Zone. I don't know where to put this straight off the bat. I think... Oh, I'm sorry if that's a little bit laggy. I was not expecting it to be that laggy. However, yes it is. I think I shall probably place that in solid B tier. I think it's right in the middle of the road. I think B tier is probably the best spot for it, personally. Yeah. I don't know. It's pretty normal Sonic stage. It's almost the start of it recreates the original version and everything like that. And yeah, other than that, it is a pretty basic stage and a good starter stage, I guess. And then Green Hill Act 2, I actually think is probably an A tier. I really enjoy Green Hill Act 2 personally, and yeah, I like all the differences it has over the normal typical Green Hills, where Act 1 had this sort of as well. However, you go into the cave, you have to run from the big fish in Act 2 and all that sort of thing, and you can break through the bridge and go down the bottom pathway to the end and all that sort of thing. I really enjoy that, and it's probably the one stage I've probably gotten the fastest at over the years. However, yeah, I really enjoy Act 2 of Green Hill Zone. Moving on to Chemical Plant Act 1, Classic Sonic's Chemical Plant. I personally have never enjoyed this stage. I always get lost in it, I think, is my biggest problem. I don't think it's D tier, and to be honest, there's probably only going to be 1 or 2 of the stages in this entire game that go in D tier. However, yeah, Chemical Plant Act 1, at least, I don't know, it's always been sort of, yeah, I get lost in it fairly easily for Classic Sonic stage, and I'm not saying it's bad or anything like that. However, I personally would put it lower than most things, because yeah, I tend to get lost, and I find it very sort of repetitive to keep going around. It looks very samey the whole way around. Moving on to Act 2 for Chemical Plant, I personally like this more than I liked Act 2 of Green Hill Zone. And it can go in there in A tier at the top at the moment. Yeah, no, Chemical Plant Act 2, I like that. The first thing you can do is go between 3 different pathways. That's just probably one of my favorite things, to try to get there quicker. I like that there's all these different pathways in Chemical Plant Act 2. And then there's some points where you have to do quite quick reaction timing to hit specific enemies and bounce into specific areas and all that sort of thing, or home to specific grapples and all that sort of thing. And yeah, I quite enjoy that from Chemical Plant Act 2, therefore that's why it is in that tier. Moving on to Sky Sanctuary Act 1. I like this a lot more than Chemical Plant Act 1. I would almost say it's actually an A tier personally. Yeah, I think Sky Sanctuary Act 1, I prefer. It might be my favorite classic Sonic game in Sonic stage in the game. Looking at it now, or maybe not, I don't know. There might be a couple more that are higher than it. However, I do quite enjoy Sky Sanctuary Act 1. Yeah, overall, I really like the aesthetic specifically. Sky Sanctuary in general has a really nice aesthetic in Sonic Generations, and being able to bounce off all the aggro bows and all that sort of thing, and over the clouds and all that sort of thing, quite enjoy that personally. Now, Act 2, I enjoy even more. There's a sort of a trend here with the modern Sonic stages, I think, where They sort of keep getting better in my opinion. I really like the modern Sonic stages. I am personally a modern Sonic player over classic the majority of the time. However, yeah, no, I quite enjoy Sky Sanctuary Act 2. I like all the different sort of things, like the speed you can get in some areas as well when you're going round and down in specific parts and all that sort of thing, and learning not to worry about falling as much, and then you can start being a little bit more, like, I guess, less cautious and like flying through specific parts of the stage. Like all that sort of thing is quite fun. Speed Highway Act 1. I think I'm gonna put it in C tier. However, I'm gonna put it. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I'm going to put it above Chemical Plant, mainly because it's. I don't know. I find it more fun than Chemical Plant, and yeah. However, it's one of those. I like classic Sonic games, and if I was ranking all the classic Sonic stages in this game, like, I guess a lot of them be a lot closer to the top. However, because I'm comparing them to modern Sonic stages as well, it's not really going to be the case, because I prefer modern Sonic stages. However, Speed Highway Act 2, yeah, it's pretty neat. It's nice to see how, like, the 3D has been represented over into the 2D stage and everything like that. I think it's pretty neat overall. However, yeah, I don't think it's anything above C tier personally for me. Speed Highway Act 2, I think I would put that right below Sky Sanctuary, personally. I think Speed Highway Act 2 is great. And I'm not going to worry too much if some of them get out of, like, order and all that sort of thing. Because, like, right at the end I'll probably show them all, not necessarily order, sorry, like position and everything like that, and they might look a little bit all over the place. I'll fix it all up and show a nice big full picture of it at the end. However, yeah, Speed Highway Act 2, I really enjoy Speed Highway Act 2 and learning all the little secret parts, especially I think there's a part after they're like bulldozer, not bulldozer, like, I don't know, like the work trucks, like scoops, and you can go in them and it'll fling you around. There's a part where you can jump over one, fall for a little while, and then boost into a ring and go flying through, and it's quicker than going the other way. I like those sort of things. I like that you can find little extra pathways by going up little ramps every now and then and all that sort of thing. Finding the quickest way down the tower, which is really fun as well. I do quite enjoy Speed Highway Act 2. Moving on to City Escape Act 1. This is probably my... When I was saying there might be more than Sky Sanctuary Act 1 as my favorite classic Sonic, this is probably... yeah, I think I might move Green Hill over and put City Escape Act 1 in there. I really like City Escape Act 1. Probably my favorite part, ironically, is the music. I think City Escape Act 1 is probably my favorite version of City Escape overall. I can't even remember if there's singing in it. I simply like how the tune goes. Yeah, no, it's either my favorite or, like, it ties with one of the other ones. However, you know, I really enjoy City Escape Act 1. I like being able to, like, dodge the truck when he's going side by side. That's a little bit more interesting. I like the skateboarding on the, like, rails and things like that. I don't know. I think it's quite fun. City Escape Act 2. I'm probably going to not make people happy. I've always enjoyed City Escape, as a lot of people have, I think. However, I think I'm gonna... okay, I think I'm gonna put it here, in between Speed Highway and Chemical Plant Act 2s, because I like City Escape. However, I'm probably not the biggest fan of it as, like, compared to what other people are. I like finding all the different routes in the game. However, I think personally for me, like the snowboarding, I guess you can call it snowboarding down the street part, whilst fun, I think it takes up a lot of the level. And then most of the platforming sections are really, really good. However, I don't know, I think I personally enjoy other things more, Of course, the truck at the end is great. Well, that sort of thing. The music's great. It's City Escape. It's all great. However, I personally like things from Sky Sanctuary Act 2 and Speed Highway Act 2 like a little bit more, personally. Now for Seaside Hill Act 1. I don't like this stage that much. I don't think it's a D tier. I think it has some fun aspects to it. I'm gonna put it above Chemical Plant Act 2. Yeah, I think that's where I'm gonna put it. Overall, I'm not the biggest fan of it. I like some aspects of it, like, yeah, you get to hit the orchids sometimes and bounce off. You have to run away from the wheels from left to right as opposed to like dodging them while moving forward type thing. I don't know, I simply, there's a lot of parts in it that I find more finicky than that are worth, I feel, to like try to get the best speeds and everything like that throughout the stage. Yeah, I think C tier is probably the best spot for it personally. Seaside Hill Act 2, I'm going to put it in the top of B tier. Yeah. Sort of same thing, I guess, with Act 1. There are a lot more finicky things in it. I personally like Monosonic stuff more. And then like you get the choice between like it's sort of a choice if you go down the right pathway between the turtles and riding the bike thing for a little while. I quite enjoy that sort of thing. Seaside Hill, I guess, holds some nostalgia to me as well because Sonic Heroes was a game I tended to play a lot when I was younger, specifically Seaside Hill because I could never get past the fans when I was younger because for some reason, I don't know, I couldn't figure it out. Anyway, Seaside Hill, really, I do like it. I like being able to run across the water and finding different routes across the water. I think that's pretty neat. However, overall, compared to the other stages in this game, personally, I think it's fine. Crisis City Act 1, I think has to go in the bottom of A tier, specifically for the fact that the signpost runs or flies away from you. I think that's a really fun thing, that it breaks and flies away from you. Yeah, I had a fair amount of fun on Crisis City Act 1. I quite enjoy it overall, more than what's in B tier currently. I think this one, if I had extra spots on the tier list, like A- or like in between B and A and all that sort of thing, I think Crisis City would probably sit there, Act 1 at least. However, yeah, for the most part, it's quite a fun stage. And as I was saying, I like how the signpost leaves, which I think is fun. There are some finicky parts with the tornado, however, there are as well some fun parts with the tornado, and sort of like, However, yeah, no, I think it is quite fun overall. Crisis City Act 2. I really like Crisis City Act 2. I put a lot of time into perfecting my runs throughout Crisis City Act 2. To the point where I think I'm going to move all these down. In saying that, yeah, no, I haven't gotten to NESs yet. Crisis City Act 2 can go right there. No, actually, no, I think Crisis City should go in S. It'll be my first S tier one. It definitely won't be my last S tier one. I know exactly what's going above it, to be honest. However, yeah, I think Crisis City at S, I do quite enjoy Crisis City Act 2 a fair amount, like the stompy parts and all that sort of thing. I've put a lot of time and effort to get my run really good in Crisis City Act 2, and I quite enjoy being able to, like, it's another one where, like, in Sky Sanctuary, where once you learn that, like, you shouldn't worry about falling into the lava or off the stage or something like that, if you, like, learn how to fly around the stage, basically, with the boost and all that sort of thing, I think it's really fun. Rooftop Run Act 1 is probably my favorite classic Sonic stage. Any guesses where Rooftop Run Act 2 will be? You have a little bit to guess. I think it's my favorite classic Sonic stage, Act 1. I think it'll go above City Escape and below Speed Highway. Yeah, some notable mentions, I guess, for Act 1, the barrel section, where you're running away from the barrel down the 2D section. I like that. I really do like that. I think that's quite fun. All that sort of thing, like jumping along the balloon stuff, and all that sort of thing. Going up the tower, like the clock tower sideways, I think is quite fun. I do think jumping on the clock tower on the hands is a little bit finicky. However, overall it's pretty good. And then you go inside the airship thing, which is, I like that as well. Yeah, no, Act 1's pretty good. Act 2, on the other hand, it's going straight at the top. Rooftop Run, whether it be Sonic Unleashed version, Sonic Generations version of Rooftop Run, I actually prefer Sonic Unleashed's version. However, they are both combined and separately my favorite Sonic stages out of the entire series. I do really like Rooftop Run, the 3D versions, a lot. Therefore, it is easily the top of S tier for me. That was always a no-brainer for me. It is my favorite stage in this game. Unless Sonic Unleashed is included, is my favorite stage out of every game. However, Sonic Unleashed's Rooftop Run, in my opinion, is a little bit more better because I like the difficulty more in Sonic Unleashed's one. However, yeah, Rooftop Run Act 2, definitely my favorite stage in Sonic Generations. Although, Planet Wisp Act 1 is going straight in DT. Too long, too finicky with Spike, in my opinion. You get lost almost as easily as you do in Chemical Plant sometimes. Yeah, I don't know, I'm not a fan of it personally. And the same goes for Act 2. I honestly, Act 2 is it is really painful for me to put it in D, because the first section in Act 2, where you're running through the alien planet, through Planet Wisp itself without being in the industrial sector, that's amazing. It is my favorite part of that stage. And if it was that like alone, it would probably be up in high A tier, if not S tier. However, once you get inside that factory setting, it goes downhill to the point where I don't think it could even go in C personally for me, because it's that far down. Like, I cannot stand the factory setting. It's mostly 2D, the finicky rocket sections. What else was there? There was something else I was going to talk about. Some instances where it's simply painful to play through, and it's way too long. Like, there are some stages in this game that are probably too short and could be lengthened. However, I think Planet Wisp's, both the stages are too long for what they are. And yeah, no, I would have preferred if Act 1 had to do with all the inside stuff and then Act 2 was all outside stuff. I think that would have been really fun. However, yeah. Other than that, however, yeah, that is my final tier list. Hopefully a nice picture of it will be shown up. I might have the sizes for some of the things increased, I might not, I don't know. However, yeah, that is all 18 stages out of, or 18 acts, I guess, out of Sonic Generations. I can understand people probably disagree with me. I wouldn't mind hearing some of their rankings in the comments. However, for now, I believe that is all from me. Thank you for watching, and I shall be back in the next one. Cheers, everyone.